Greetings. My name is Brother Scott, and I believe that with faith, courage, and discipline, we will prevail. All right, so for today's topic, we're going to continue with our Build Your Dynasty playlist. All right? So remember, your purpose in life as an underdog is to pursue your calling and build your dynasty. And a dynasty is a family with businesses, assets, and knowledge that can be passed down from generation to generation. So when we're talking about building our dynasty, you have to create a plan to build a dynasty, understand female attraction so you can attract the person you want to help you build that dynasty, or so you can build with that person. Okay? You have to determine if you're ready for a relationship. You have to know what to look for in a woman. You have to understand the dating process. And then today, we're going to talk about understanding the breakup process. If you have any questions about any of the aforementioned subjects, just go watch those previous videos. I've already made videos on how to create a plan to build a dynasty, how understanding female attraction, determining if you're ready for a relationship, knowing what to look for in a woman, and understanding the dating process. All right? And like I said, today we're going to talk about understanding the breakup process. So if you finally are able to get that relationship and things don't work out according to plan, what do you do next? All right? What do you do during the breakup process? Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about, when to give up on a relationship. Now, these right here, this is not an exhaustive list, but these are the non-negotiables. Pretty much, if any of these things is happening or taking place, we're done. The relationship is pretty much over at this point. You understand? All right, here we go. When to give up on a relationship. My first point, if she doesn't support your calling. What is a calling again? A calling is your lifelong mission that you are passionate about that provides value to others. If she does not support your calling, hey, you may need to consider whether or not you need to continue pursuing a long relationship with this woman. You understand? There's been so many times where a partner will look down on their partner's hobbies or the things that they do in their spare time or the things that they love to do because it's not important to them. No, if that's happening in your relationship, look, I'm not telling you need to break up right away, but this is not something that can last long. This is not something that is going to contribute to the sustainment of your relationship. All right? So whatever your calling is, if she doesn't support it, that's a sign that maybe you need to move on. Okay? There was a gentleman, now that I think about it, there was a gentleman on YouTube, and he loved to play the card game Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay? For those of you that don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a trading card game where you can trade cards, you can collect cards, and you can actually play, there's a game with the cards, right? And so there's a guy who really loved Yu-Gi-Oh! He loved to talk about it, he loved to play, he loved to record himself, and he just loved the game. And he had this calling before he got into a relationship with this particular woman. And over time, the woman that he was in a relationship with did not respect his passion, did not respect his love of the game. And it got to a point where he decided, look, man, I love this game. I love it. This is what I do in my spare time. And not to mention, he was actually making money off of it as well. It was something that he could have parlayed and made a foundation to build a dynasty on. But she thought that it was a waste of time. She thought that he was being childish. He can go do other things. And I'm not going to get too much into it. But what I will say is this, man. He made the decision that this relationship ain't going to work. My calling was here before you were here. So we're going to have to part ways. All right? So yeah, I spend a lot of time on that because that is so important. If you already have and I talked about this before. I talked about this before when I said pursuing your calling. Your calling initially at the very beginning, your calling becomes before entering a serious relationship. And at first, initially, when you are in the beginning phases of pursuing your calling, and you're gaining some traction, okay? It's going to be very difficult to pursue your calling and to pursue a relationship at the same time, all right? So this is why I say this is the indicator that the relationship is probably over with. All right, now, next thing, when to give up on a relationship. If she doesn't support your vision for your dynasty. So it's pretty much just like I said about pursuing your calling. If she doesn't support your vision that you laid out for your dynasty, that's an indication that the relationship may not work. All right? I'm not saying that you have to be a dictator and it's your way or the highway and she got to do exactly what you say or no. That's not what I'm saying. But when you were in the dating process, it should have been understood already, hey, this is how we're going to move forward together, right? This is my idea. This is my plan for a dynasty. I see what you have going on in your life, and we're going to put this thing together, and we're going to make it work. If you've already laid out that vision, and then all of a sudden, at some point, she doesn't support it anymore, it's probably time to move on. Maybe she's not a good fit for the dynasty that you guys are trying to build together. You understand? All right? So, next thing, when to give up on a relationship. She develops a bad reputation. Okay, so I talked about this. If you go out to my previous video about what to look for in a woman, one of the things that I talk about is reputation. All right, now, so with that being said, okay, I'm not saying that, you have to be with the most perfect woman who has never done anybody wrong, who has never did nobody dirty. I'm not saying that, Maybe she has some skeletons in her closet and you guys talked about it and you've determined that, okay, look, she has grown from that. She's no longer participating in that behavior or doing whatever it is. You guys can move on from that, right? What I'm talking about now, now that you're in a relationship, she's developing a bad reputation. Now that you're in the relationship, you understand? It's different. Again, it's different things that happened in the past, and it's long done and over with, and she's grown from it. If she's developing a bad reputation while you guys are in a relationship, you understand? Maybe it's time to part ways and move on or have a serious conversation. You understand? And the same thing goes for you. It's not just about her having a bad reputation. You need to make sure you maintain a good reputation as well. Okay? All right. So, next one. This is a big one. When to give up on a relationship, okay? She threatens you. Flat, just like that. I don't even need to go into detail about that. She threatened you. Do I need to go into further detail about that? It might be time to wrap up that relationship if that's going on. You understand? Okay? Next point, same thing. She exhibits any form of abuse, physical, financial, psychological. It's probably time to move on, brother. Flat, just like that. Don't really need to go into much detail. You understand? Okay? And then this is the big one. All right, we're going to go into detail about this one, okay? All right, when to give up on a relationship? She provokes you. Provocation. If she is habitually provoking you, it's time to go, dog. So let's go into details about this, all right? So being provoked, and if you don't know what that means, basically she's saying stuff or doing stuff to get under your skin, to make you react a certain way, in a negative way. You understand, okay? So the reason why I want to talk about this in detail is because being provoked and provocation, this is something that can sneak up on you. And you don't even realize what's happening until after everything is said and done. All right? And one thing, so we'll use the example of back in the day, when we were kids, we were coming up in school, what was one of the worst things you could say about somebody when you guys are cracking jokes or doing the dozens or whatever you called it back in the day? We used to call it ranking on each other, ranking. So what was one of the worst things you could say about somebody? Talking about their mama, right? Those were fighting words coming up back in the day, back in school. You talk about somebody's mama and they don't know that it's like a jokey joke. Oh, those are fighting words. And so without even realizing it, you're a kid, you put your hands on another kid, now you're in the principal's office about to get detention. This is how easily provocation can sneak up on you as a kid. All right? So now just imagine as an adult being in a relationship with someone that knows you, that has been around you, that knows a lot about your personal life, and then they say something to get under your skin. You understand? Nobody is exempt. Anybody can be provoked. I don't care if you go to church every Sunday. I don't care if you are head of a nonprofit organization that gives back to the community. Anybody can be provoked, especially, when it's somebody that knows a lot about you. You understand? Because it's gonna hurt more. It's gonna hit deeper. Some random person saying something about you, yeah, you can get provoked by that. But when it's somebody that knows about you, it hurts a lot more. You understand? And so this is important because, I don't want anybody getting caught up in a situation where they're provoked and then they do something to retaliate. Next thing you know, you're getting your rights read. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay? So if this is happening, you need to go ahead and get up out of there. Get on up out of there. All right? That relationship, nah, that cannot be tolerated on both sides. You shouldn't be doing it to her either. Okay? Now, as I said before, these are not. This is not an exhaustive list. These are just the non-negotiables. You have to seriously consider whether or not you need to continue on with that relationship if any of these things are taking place. People make mistakes. People, everybody has a bad day. You're not going to always. I'm not saying you guys have to be perfect. But this is some stuff you need to start thinking twice about whether or not you need to continue, okay? All right, so we just talked about when to give up on a relationship. Now we're gonna talk about how to get over a breakup. So when you actually make the decision, when y'all decide, whether you or her, when you guys decide, it's over. How do you get over a breakup, okay? Well, first point, focus on your purpose. What is your purpose? Your purpose in life is to pursue your calling and build your dynasty. So If you end up breaking up, it sucks. But guess what? You've already been pursuing your calling and building, or at least you should have. You should have already been pursuing your calling and building your dynasty before that woman, before that partner even came into the picture. So if things happen, things don't go according to plan, and she goes wherever she goes away, you can just go right back to what you've been doing before she was even there. I talked about this before about you should never make your partner the center and the sole source of your happiness. I'm not saying she can't make you happy. I'm not saying you can't love her. I'm not saying you guys can't have appreciation for each other. What I'm saying is, if she is the sole and only source of your happiness, what are you going to do if things don't work out and she leaves? Just stop what you're doing? Just go crawl up into a corner in a fetal position? No. Absolutely not. Okay? So go back to your purpose. Go back to pursuing your calling, which you already should be doing. Just focus even more on it. Pursuing your calling and building your dynasty. Maybe she was someone that you wanted to build your dynasty with, and she's gone now. That's fine. She made room for someone more worthy, or someone that you're more compatible with. You understand? Okay? So yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing, how to get over a breakup. Have fun with your friends. All right, having friends is important, and I'm actually I'm gonna make an entire series dedicated to how to network and make friends. But for right now, you just understand that having friends is important. People that really care about you, ride or dies, people that will go to bat for you. You understand? Have fun with your friends. All right, you can vent to them, you can talk to them. You guys can go out, have a good time. Play video games, go to the club, whatever it is you do to blow off steam and to have fun. Go to that, all right? Like I was saying before, if she leaves, you shouldn't be going into a fetal position in a corner somewhere and not doing anything constructive or productive. You understand? Go out, have fun with your friends, all right? Next thing, all right, when we're talking about how to get over a breakup, date other women. Don't get stuck in the past. Date other women. Look, I'm going to get into this a little bit more later, but heartbreak sucks. And I'm not going to sit here and act like it's the easiest thing in the world to just move on to the next thing. Because it's not. It's not. But I'm telling you, this is why I'm telling you this. It's okay to go and date other women. If you guys are officially over, you guys have made the decision, or one of you have made the decision, I don't want to be with you no more. You know, maybe you try to come back together, because some people do that. Some people, they'll break up for a couple of months, or they'll break up for a week or two, and then now they realize, oh, that was a mistake. That does happen, but once it's over, it's okay to date other women, dog. It's okay. Don't get stuck in the past. See, you sitting there reflecting on, oh man, you know, we had such a good time, and we used to play video games together. We used to go on outings together. We used to go fishing. That's fine. You know what? You know, if this is someone you were close to, and you know, you have to process those thoughts, fine. But in the meantime, don't be wasting opportunities where you can meet more awesome women, more attractive women, or women who are just as attractive, or just as compatible. You understand? You're wasting time. All right. If you're in a position where you can go date Why not? It's over. Okay? And like I said, I understand that's easier said than done. Next thing, how to get over a breakup. You need to avoid using unhealthy vices. Unhealthy vices. So some people, when they're not having the best of days, they can fall into certain addictions. All right? Some people participate in the use of, we'll say, illegal substances. All right? Avoid using those unhealthy vices. And it doesn't have to just be that, right? Maybe you had a video game addiction. Video game addiction, okay? There's nothing wrong with playing video games. But if you had a video game addiction where video games controlled your life and that's not your purpose, and you fall back into that because of a breakup, no, avoid that. That's an unhealthy vice. Okay? Some people, they go to food. You know, they eat a lot more than what they normally do, and the food, you know, and this is not to shame anybody, okay? The point I'm trying to make is, if you do have to break up with somebody or someone breaks up with you, you got to be conscious and aware of those unhealthy vices that could destroy you. You understand, okay? Now, you need to understand, the pain from heartbreak can turn into a powerful motivator, okay? Use that pain to fuel your ambition. She will regret losing you. What do I mean by that? All right, so any type of heartbreak from anything, right? You can turn that energy that comes from that pain and channel it into something that you can, something constructive, like your calling or your dynasty. You understand? Use that energy to fuel your ambition. All right? The time that you spent with your girlfriend or whoever, your partner, all right, that's fine. We're broken up and it sucks. I'm going to use that time and I'm going to start working on opening up another store. Maybe you have a restaurant. I'm going to use that time and I'm going to do something positive with it. I'm going to open up another restaurant. Or maybe you're a barber. I'm going to open up another barbershop. Or I'm going to redo our website, make it even more flashier, more gravitating, so people can come and get their haircuts at my establishment. All right? You see this oftentimes in sports where you have two high caliber teams and one team, or one of the teams loses the championship, the national championship. And they say to all their teammates, you know what? This sucks. We lost. But next year, we're going to come back. We're going to come back harder. We're going to come back more powerful. We're going to come back smarter. And we're going to learn from our mistakes. And we're going to win that championship. Right? This is something that one of the great college football quarterbacks of all time, Tim Tebow, look him up. This happened to him. If I'm not mistaken, this happened to him, where they lost a big game and he took it personally. You understand? I believe they came back the next year and won the championship. All right, don't quote me on that, but yeah, just look into it. All right, so yeah, channel that pain into something positive. Okay. All right, my last topic. All right, when it comes to understanding the breakup process, you need to understand that a breakup does not equal failure. A breakup does not equal failure. All right? Breaking up with someone you aren't compatible with is a good thing. That's a good thing. Remember, you want to build a dynasty with the right partner. All right? it's so easy to look at, something that didn't work out right as an utter complete failure. But when you look at history, you look at, the people that we look up to, oftentimes, the great scientists, they conducted experiments that didn't go the way they wanted to. When you look at the great conquerors, they lost battles that they felt like they should have won. They've lost troops. They've lost equipment. You understand? And so, don't look at it as, I suck, man. I can never maintain a relationship. Now, you can self-reflect. You can self-reflect on what you did or what you didn't do. Maybe she lost attraction for you. Maybe I don't know, you made a mistake. All right, maybe you was cheating or whatever. I'm not saying that you can't self-reflect, but we got to get out of this idea, pass or fail. Life is an experience, and going through the breakup process, while it does suck and it does make you feel like crap, it's a process. That's why I say the breakup process. All right? And so, yeah, try not to look at it as a failure, okay? It's a good thing. If you guys weren't compatible and it doesn't work out, good. It sucks that it didn't work, but you can move on and learn from that previous relationship and then go into a new one at some point when you're ready with a lot more knowledge and understanding of who you are, as a partner, okay? Next thing, don't force a relationship. It's a waste of time and resources. There are billions, with a B, billions of other women on the planet. Don't get too attached to a woman so soon. Okay? You trying to force a relationship to work when you know it's not working, when you know you guys really aren't compatible, maybe you guys didn't assess each other very well during the dating process, you trying to force that to work? No, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. Once you do an honest assessment of what's going on in a relationship and who you are and who you think she is, don't waste your time. There are literally billions of other women on the planet. You understand? So if things don't work out, look, I'm not saying that, and I got to be careful how I say this. I'm not, this is what I'm saying. There are plenty of fishes in the sea, okay? And it's not the end of the world if you can't make this relationship work. All right, you trying to force something because you feel like, oh, she's the one. I got to make this work. I'm committed. You be committed and you try to make it work. And if it doesn't, right, and you look in your hearts of hearts and it doesn't, fine. Move on. All right, you have options, okay? Which goes into my next point. All right, if you are an attractive man, you will have options. Now, I am not just talking about physical attraction. If you go up to my previous videos where I talk about understanding female attraction, you guys should know that physical attraction, while it is important, it is not the most important thing when it comes to what women are attracted to, okay? Physical appearance is down here. After that, it is financial stability. After that, it is social status. After that, it is confidence. You understand? And so if you go back into those previous videos and you understand what attraction is and what women are attracted to, if you're an attractive man, you will have options. And like I said before, the best way to become an attractive man is to pursue your calling and build your dynasty, because you will increase your level, you will level up, all right? Physical attraction, you have to make a conscious effort, into your hygiene, your diet, and your physical fitness, okay? But when it comes to social status, financial security, social status, and confidence, that automatically increases as you are pursuing your calling and building your dynasty. You don't even have to think about becoming attractive because you just will, just by pursuing your calling, just by building your dynasty. Okay? And so if you're an attractive man, if you're doing like I'm damn telling you to do, you're going to have options and you will be fine. All right? Breakup does not equal failure. You can't look at it that way. You can't. All right? All right, so yeah, today we talked about understanding the breakup process. We talked about when to give up on a relationship. We talked about how to get over a breakup. And we talked about a breakup does not equal failure. Whew, all right. Yeah, so after this video, we got one more video when it comes to building your dynasty, all right? So, yeah, that should be coming out shortly after this one, okay? Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and donate. And always remember, with faith, courage, and discipline, we will prevail.